Well, here we are with all my cheeses getting ready to go in the smoker. It's a nice cool evening this evening, and I thought I'll try this. I got some provolone, I got some 5 country cheeses, I got some sharp and mild cheddars, got some Gouda cheese, and just a lot of nice stuff. From Wisconsin, I got a bunch of them, and none of these are smoked, and they all taste really nice. I've got a couple of smoked cheeses that I bought, and I really enjoy them. So I'm gonna put this in with some apple wood, because the wood that they used to smoke what I bought in the store was, a apple wood smoked cheese, and I really liked it. So, but this is my first experiment. It's nice and cool out tonight, so I thought I'd start my smoker and cold smoke me some cheeses. This goes out to my brother Larry Hall up in Brainerd, Minnesota, and we're gonna see just how these turn out. And here's some of my wrappers over here. Let's see, I got Swiss cheese. Yeah, I got some Swiss cheese in there too, and some yellow cheddar, and some sharp cheddar, English 5 country cheese, provolone, and I think that's it. So we're going to see how this turns out with all these nice cheeses and give them a nice cold smoke for a few hours. I'm going to go online and check how long you cold smoke. I think you want to put a little rim on the outside, give it a nice little smoke ring. That way when you cut in, you don't, obviously it can't smoke all the way through to the center of the cheese, but it does give it flavor when you put it in your mouth, being it's got smoke around the edge of it. So, well, we'll give it a try. It's my first attempt at it, and this is Steve Hall in Nashville, Tennessee, sending it up to my brother Larry Hall in Brainerd, Minnesota, and I'm going to pop it in the smoker right now. Here we go. Well, here is the finished product. Everything seemed to have sweat just a little bit. If you notice real close, you'll see the little teeny moisture pellets on the outside of this. And I smoked it for about an hour and a half before I got on the internet and found out that that's about all you want to smoke it. Some guys even say a maximum of 2 hours. Some guys only do it 40 to 60 minutes. Now, one thing I found out in that small smoker, that pellet thing creates enough heat that you'll notice one of these has got kind of a little bit soft, and it kind of deformed. Just raised the temperature up. So I think one thing that I did not do that another guy talked about is he puts the cheese on the top rack, then the little smoker thing on the bottom, and then in between he puts a tray of ice, and that cools the smoke completely so no heat can actually get up. But everything else, the cheddars really just seem to hold up well, even though they're sweaty. And you'll notice that all the cheeses all kind of took on the same golden glow. In other words, the Swiss and the provolone and stuff, which were whiter, now all have that nice little tint. And I wish you could smell the aroma here. It just smells delicious. So I'm going to let it cool down. I learned a couple of lessons here. Maybe only go about an hour and a half. Make sure there's some ice in between that little coal burning pellet thing and the top trays. And I could have even cracked the door a little bit maybe on it, because it's got plenty of smoke, but everything looks good. So I'm going to cool it off and get it in the refrigerator and see if it'll actually draw some of this back in. I might pat some of the moisture off the outside and then cool it down, get it nice and cold, and then I'm going to slice some and give you a verdict. So this goes out to my brother Larry Hall up in Brainerd, Minnesota. This is Steve Hall in Nashville, Tennessee, and cold smoking cheese for the first time. So learned a few lessons here, and that's it. Bye-bye. Well, now I'm kind of on a mission here. I got a bag of cashews, and you can smoke some nuts too. So my smoker's going great out there, and it's not even a fifth done with its smoke. So instead of interrupting those pellets, I'm going to take this tray of cashews out there and smoke them for about 30 minutes or 45 minutes. I got to tell you, I've already cheated and kind of took a couple nips of the real softer cheese, and wow, the flavor is really delicious. Now, I might back it down just a little bit, because I smoked close to 2 hours, and I think maybe an hour even, like somebody put on the internet 40 minutes to an hour. I think that would probably be fine, because I think the flavor's still there. I really like a lot of smoke flavor, so it was just a sweet cheese, real soft. And when this cools down, the cheese cools down, I'll give you the verdict on the rest of it. But right now, I'm going to pop these in here for about 30 to 40 minutes, maybe even an hour, and just put a coating on these cashews, and I'll bet they'll be yummy. So I'll get back to this in the smoker, then I'll get back and check the cheese when it cools down in a couple hours. All right, see you, bye. Well, here is the completion of my little cold smoking cheese and cold smoking cashews experiment. The thing that I want to headline this entire smoking experience with is, remember one thing: 2 hours is too long. That's all you got to remember. 2 hours is too long to cold smoke cheese. Now here's these two pieces here. I didn't trim the outside of them, but I wanted to salvage them because this here, it's just too harsh and just too bitter. Almost smells like a campfire kind of smell. I've taken it into the too bitter stage. Now I've got some more pieces over here in bags that I did, and there's where I trimmed some of it off. But I trimmed the outside of the cheddars and some of the Swiss and stuff, and now, ooh, it has a nice warm smell to it. Nice smoky taste. That turned out good, and that delicious flavor is inside this over smoked cheese. But I'm going to have to take a knife and shear off all 4 sides, or 6 sides if you get the ends. And now this piece here, I sheared off here and here and here, but I left the one little golden edge there. You can see where I left that on, where it was smoked. And I'll slice it this way so that as I slice it this way, I will get one little strip of smoke in each piece of cheese that I get. And if it's too much, I'll also cut that off. But right now, these stand alone by cutting they're just too bitter and too smoked too long. And I smoked them for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Now, I went and checked on the internet, how long do you smoke cold smoked cheese, when I was already into my cold smoking process for about 1.5 hours. And the first thing I noticed is most guys are 30, 40 minutes, maybe 45, an hour at the outmost. Now, let me tell you this. I took these cashews to the same smoker that I pulled this cheese out of, and I put these out on a aluminum sheet and slid them in there, and I put it in there for about 25 minutes. And the film of smoke that got on them was perfect. Then I brought them in and I put them in a bag, and as I smelled it, I got that same real pungent, strong odor in my pecan bag right here. So I took it out and I laid it on a sheet, and I took it outside and I let it lay and air overnight. And this morning when I got up, I went out and brought them in, and they are delicious. You almost can't taste the smoke until you start kind of chewing into them a little bit. Then they've just got a touch almost like smoked almonds, smoked cashews. They're delicious. 20-25 minutes at the max. Let them air out on a sheet outside or in front of a fan or something, and you'll have a great product. So I'm going to try the same thing with the cheese. I'm only going to do it about 30 minutes next time I cold smoke. And don't mean to eat and talk at the same time, but I just got to tell you about this. And then I should be able to leave the film on the outside without it being too bitter. I'm going to try some cherry wood, and I'm going to try some other fruit woods if I can. But the apple, because I went with apple this time just because some of the other cheeses that I bought in the store said applewood smoked cheese. But you can salvage it, even if you over cold smoke it, or you cold smoke it too long and it's too harsh for you. Don't throw the cheese away. Just cut the outside, shear it off all the way around, and then you'll have a finished product that's completely, at least this one is here. I cut all the edges off, but you can still smell that warm smoke. It gets in there. You'd think something as dense as cheese or as me, it wouldn't get in there, but it does. But that's the final product, and it turned out delicious after I smoked it 2 long layers off of. These are perfect at 20 to 25 minutes in the smoker, and have a lot of fun with them. This goes out to my brother Larry Hall in Brainerd, Minnesota, and we're always showing success stories. So I didn't want to not show you the failure. In other words, I over smoked it. Just remember, 2 hours is too long. If you go past an hour cold smoking cheese, in my opinion, just trying to lay a film on there, it's going to be too bitter, too harsh. But good luck with your cold smoking cheese. And Larry, I hope this helps you out on your end. Give it a try. I'd say 45 minutes would be perfect. 30, only about 25 on these little babies. And on the cheese, no more than about 35 to 40 minutes. All right. Talk to you later. See you. Bye. One other thing. I don't have the program in my computer to patch all these videos together, but my brother Larry does. I would say the cheese, I would start out same as the cashews, 20, 25, 30 minutes. Try that, and if you want more smoke, you can always put it in the smoker longer next time, but you can't take it out without shearing the edges off. So that's kind of what I wanted to say in the previous little clip that I did. So good luck with it, and I'm going to have me some cheese and some cashews, and they're cold smoked and just delicious once I cut all the bad stuff off. Bye-bye.